Fossils, evolution, and an auto revolution. It's Rhyme and Reason 824.
Here's your rhyme and reason. Oh yeah.
Hey there, Tony here. And right up front, let me say this. I gotta say this. And I know this is anathema to the enlightened evolutionary worldview, but here it is. There's no such thing as fossil fuel. Bam! Bam, bam, bam! That's right. I just attacked the whole fossils evolution connection. And no, there won't be a forthcoming retraction or apology. I ain't doing it, okay? Because the fossils evolution connection, that's a fairy tale. It is. And I probably shouldn't say that because it's an affront to the fairies in actual fairy tales. Just as a side note, adults don't believe in fairies or fairy tales. They're reserved for kids' imaginations, and, there's a time and a place for them, kept in that way. Anyway, I've already talked about, over the course of, I don't know how many episodes did I say? This is 824. Sometime in those episodes, I've talked about the advantages of crude oil and how it's a renewable resource. Yes, it is. But most people are still scared of the big monster known as carbonis emissionatus, also known as carbon emissions. So, hugs and kisses flow to the EV car makers where magical batteries are charged by butterfly wings and pixie dust. Yeah, wait a second, hang on. There are reports coming in right now that EV car charging stations are powered by connecting to the electricity grid? Can that be true? It's not butterfly wings and pixie dust? And that grid is powered by hydroelectric stations that run on, no. Dare I say, yes, I do dare say it. Those stations run on byproducts of crude oil. Kids, turn your heads, don't look. It's too horrible to even think about. Oh my goodness, we've got to keep those dastardly hydroelectric stations going because we've got to forge ahead. We've got to with electric cars because electric cars run on batteries made of materials that can be found in endless amounts. Oh, wait a second again. More reports coming in. What? Can this be true? EV car batteries include materials that are not in endless supply. And what's this? They consist of materials that are in even lower supply than crude oil? Huh? Plus the batteries, what? They don't last forever? And disposal could involve less than desirable environmental impact? Oh no, I can't believe my eyes, and my ears can't believe them either, and my ears and my eyes can't believe my ears, and you know what I'm saying? This is crazy. Maybe this would be a good time to consider H2. And I use the word maybe facetiously. Of course it's a good time to consider it. It's been a good time since time began. And when I say time began, I mean for humans, but that's another talk for another time. Anyway, now when I mention H2, you don't think I'm talking about Hummers, right? Because I'm not. Although I believe the Hummer H2 could benefit from H2 technology. Maybe. Thankfully, a company I've been a fan of for decades, Toyota, is, from what I've been able to determine, is in almost relentless pursuit of efficient and safe H2 technology for the auto industry. And I read some info about their Corolla H2 concept car. It sounded very cool. And sure, they had a fire during a test of their liquid hydrogen-powered car. But, they pushed ahead. And they announced their Corolla H2 will compete for the first time at the Fuji 24 Hours. When I wrote that, it was going to happen later in May. Now I think about that. So that might have just happened, I don't know, this past week or within the last 10 days, I'm sure. Anyway, maybe you've heard about the fire dangers connected to H2, hydrogen. And the fire that Toyota dealt with was evidently caused, ironically, by a loose connection within the hydrogen supply piping. And they said the leak occurred from the joint nearest to the engine, following its exposure to powertrain movement and vibration. That's quoting them. But the car's safety system, listen to this, its own safety system shut off the hydrogen supply in under 0.1 seconds. That's 1/10 of a second. Wow, that's what you would call super fast. And that meant that there would be no further damage or injury to the vehicle or the driver. Of course, some, maybe many, might say, but it's hydrogen. Remember the Hindenburg disaster? We'd better stick with our gas and electric engines because they're safe and stable. Well, not so fast. Here's something to consider. Given a spark, gasoline will burn in any environment. Hydrogen, on the other hand, and I'm quoting this. Well, let me get to this. I'll just go ahead and do this whole quote. Listen to this again. Given a spark, gasoline will burn in any environment. Hydrogen, on the other hand, only ignites at certain concentrations and temperatures. That's a comment from Tomoya Takahashi, president of the Gazoo Racing Company. And he also said specifically hydrogen, needs a 4% concentration in air and a temperature of at least 550 degrees centigrade. Hydrogen will not ignite under any other conditions. That's what somebody who has been studying this intently has said. Now, that's a pretty big wow there. As for anybody keeping score, 550 degrees centigrade equals 1,022 degrees in American temperature. So it's obviously not impossible, but it'll be less and less likely to ever occur as testing and production improve the H2 technology to the level of efficient and safe that we now enjoy in gas-powered engines, which are run on gas that, as that other quote said, given a spark, it will burn in any environment. How many blow 'em up movies do you have to see to know that's true? Cars being blown up in movies. Now, some of the top people in the Toyota company believe and say that H2 is the true future for cars. And I'm not going to take issue with that, even though it's obvious that crude oil is a renewable resource. I think it would be awesome if people would stick with that. But anyway, I can't make car companies do what they're not going to do. I won't take issue with their claim because, according to most scientific sources, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. So maybe there's enough to go around for everyone. And hydrogen-powered engines only emit water. That's their emissions, water. So Akio Toyoda, the chairman of Toyota, said this about H2 cars. I drive the car myself, and we're not giving up on the project. I want people to see hydrogen not as a danger, but as our future. Wow. I believe that the fossils evolution connection slows down technology. I do believe that. Because it's driven by and it drives fear. A fear that we humans will destroy Mother Earth. Ooh. Or a fear that we'll use up all our resources. No. Or have too many people for the amount of those resources. It's disaster waiting to happen. Whatever that fear is, you know this. You should know this. And this, I was going to say a sane person. Anyway, it's the opposite of faith. Fear is the opposite of faith. Put your faith in God, the one who created heaven and earth and said it's very good. And trust that his word is true when he says that as long as the earth remains, we'll have springtime and harvest, cold and hot, winter and summer. You and I don't live on a fragile bubble. We don't. It's not going to pop. There are people who would have you believe that things are going to melt the ice caps and flood the land masses, and yet many of those people, such as former President Obama, have oceanfront property. He has two, one up in the Northeast in the New England area, and one on Hawaii. that's about as coastal as you can get. So he doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe that's going to happen. And he would say, I will not be here by then. Well, so you're whoever inherits your place. Okay, I got it. You don't care as long as it doesn't affect you. I got it. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you prefer gas engines or electric, H2 technology or wind, because every bit of it will be gone one day. But you know what won't be gone? You'll still exist, or you'll still live. And the difference between just existing or living is based on your choice. You get to choose which one of those you're going to be. And here's a quote from me that's better than the Toyota CEO's quote. I trust Jesus myself, and I'm not giving up on him. I want you to see him not as a condemner, but as the Savior. All right, there's my little 2 cents worth, on the state of fossils and evolution and the auto revolution. Thank you so much for tuning in as I rant about they can't do that, and yet there they go. Thank you so much. It's an honor to serve this way, and that thousands of people have listened to do listen to my podcast monthly, and that the increase to the TonyFunderburk.com has been substantial because I think a lot to do with the podcast. Thank you so much for supporting me by buying books that I sell or music that I sell or other things that you see over there that you think would be of benefit to you or someone you care about. And that's my promo for this time, and I'll finish there. Remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're here. Give your time and season to the one